one other question, I guess, or scenario I wanted to picture, so we covered, what it was like growing up. It's cold out back. Your older brother plays, your dad's got the backyard hockey rink. I know what that looks like. I've seen the Tim Hortons commercials and that, that's awesome. And then, I've seen you on, TV, with the gold medal and getting that wrapped around your neck. I do want to know, like, what is your best or craziest or most memorable celebration story? Because that's something that I really want to experience in my life. Is I want to win a Stanley Cup, so I can be a part of that party. And I'm not necessarily a partier, but given the right circumstance,
Yeah. Obviously we've had a chance to have some pretty good ones. And I'm going to give you two. Our first one in Salt Lake City was an interesting one because Salt Lake City was a dry state, and so there wasn't a lot of partying happening. Well, I shouldn't say partying. There was partying. There wasn't a lot of drinking happening. But I remember after the game, we went back to this area where the friends and family were, and you go and you see your parents and everybody, and a bunch of our players were just sort of sitting on the couch. They just looked exhausted. And we were in that stage of just being physically, mentally spent. Like we had nothing left. And it was such it was a beautiful thing to see that it was like, we just left it all. And it was like, that was the Cinderella story. That was a game we weren't supposed to win. That was a game where, we spent almost half the game shorthanded and this, just incredible story. And that's what I remember from it, was that we just had nothing left. And it was really cool. And then, probably opposite to that in Vancouver, when we won in Canada, that was obviously pretty special to get a chance to play in Canada.
Definitely not a dry celebration that time, I imagine.
No. But to play in Canada and, everything was about the pressure and how we were going to handle the pressure in Canada, and not only just to win in Canada, but to win hockey in Canada, which was different. And after the fact, we ended up on the ice, and as we did every time, but somehow this time it got in the media, and, players had a beer and had some cigars and different things. And it was on the front page of like the LA Times. It was on the front page in Europe, all these women with beers and cigars. And we took a little heat for it, but I wouldn't change a thing. It was one of those moments where, and again, this is a female thing, I think, the fact that women are drinking beers. And none of us smokes. Yeah, none of us smoke cigars, obviously. But it's one of those things that you take a picture with a cigar.
Whatever you want, do whatever you want.
So it was, so it was one of those moments. But when you have that much pressure on you, and when you look at the Olympic Games, it's really about 4 years leading up to one game. And as you know, in one game, anything can happen. You can be sick that day. You can not play well. You can make one mistake. It's so finite. And when you actually accomplish that after 4 years of thinking about that one night, that 1 3-hour period, and you accomplish it, it's unbelievable. And to be able to share that with teammates and really just enjoy it. So definitely had lots of good celebrations, but those would be two I really look back on fondly.